Good morning, college and high school football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. That's right, y'all. We have ourselves one of the most jam-packed freaking shows you can imagine because, well, all the fun stuff is going down. All top 10 high schools around the country, well, they had some good games, but there was one last night that had a very close call to a team who is starving for a national championship. Well, first they got to get that state one, but I'll tell you, there was a good game last night. Also, in the 3C2A, last week we had so many upsets. The playoffs are set. This is going to be a wild bracket. The NJCAA, well, we are so close from getting a full bracket ready and set, but the championships, the conference championships, got to happen this week. We'll get into those. The NAIA is all set with the playoffs, as well as D3 and D2. Those brackets are all set and ready to roll. Who are we taking? What does our bracketology look like? We will tell you. The FCS is shaping up to have one of the best rivalry weeks I think we've ever seen. And the FBS, well, let's just say rivalry week also exists there. And we got some fun ones coming up within these next couple of weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, grab something delicious. Grab you a pastry, grab you a coffee, grab you some Planet Jerky, premium brisket, beef jerky. Grab something because we're going to have ourselves a good little show here today. You are now tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, college football fans. Oh my goodness, we have ourselves one heck of a show. I mean, seriously, I just want to jump right into it. I know we got to get couple introductions. Well, we got to get the introduction out of the way, and we got to get the sponsorship and everything, but oh my gosh, I'm so freaking excited. So, as always, bringing along my boy, man. He is IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, and of course, is all-around great dude, the host of Set Point, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, and the co-host of this show, 3 and Out College Edition. I can't do the show without him. He's my boy, man. Glad to have him here, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. What's going on, Taryn? Oh, whoopsies. Sorry about that, Taryn. Whoopsies. That's a blip on my end. Let's go ahead and fix that. All right, Taryn. Now you're live. How's it going, brother?
Hey, Larry. It is great to be live with you. It is great to be talking college football with you and some high school football. It's a great day, even though it's raining. I'm excited.
Hey, you and me both, man. You know, it's always it is always a fun show. It's crazy. This is like the post-season type of stuff now, man, because that's it. The regular season for everything is pretty much over with. The only thing that we got to get to the postseason now with is the FCS and the FBS. But really, I mean, everything else is set in stone, man. We're ready to go. You know, we are at our time here where we're moving. You know, we're moving right now. We are in the second season of this season, if you will, you know, so, but yeah, Darren, I'm glad you're able to join today, man. I know, it's been a fun season, and we have been rolling all the way from August. Here we are today, Saturday, November 17th, and we we have some great stuff to get into today, so, Darren, brother, we have been covering these high schools for a very long time. And, well, all these high schools and, you know, in these different sanctioning bodies of college football. We have been doing this for years now. And last night, I just want to get to it, man. I just want to do this. Last night, we had ourselves a game that, it's funny. I was trying to keep an eye on it. And you were sending me, it was funny, you were sending me, as per usual, you know, jumping in the DMs and everything. And, brother, we almost witnessed an upset for the ages. I mean, it's safe to say this year's high school football national champion will truly earn it because, oh my gosh, this has been fun. Last night, well, just to go through it really quick too, Taryn. I don't want to what do you call it? Throw anybody out of the way and be like, oh, they're not important. But let's just go through it really, really, really fast for everybody else. In the current top 10 right now, number 10, St. Thomas Aquinas, they took care of business. They are now 2-0 in the playoffs. They just defeated, looks like Blanche Eli, I don't want to butcher their name, but 40-0 last night. They'll be taking on Coconut Creek next week at home in the third round. So good job for St. Thomas Aquinas out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Next up, we have St. Joseph's Prep, who took care of business. They just won the first round there. Actually, no, they're going to be starting the first round today versus Abraham Lincoln in Philadelphia. Next up, that's currently number 9. Number 8, Mill Creek out of Georgia. Once again, the team that knocked off Buford earlier this year and seemed to took their spot in the top 10. They will get down, man. They will win a nice playoff game here, 59-20 over Peachtree Ridge in the second round. Now they'll be taking on Camden County out of Kingsland coming up next week. That is currently number 8. Number 7, DeSoto, Texas, y'all. This team, of course, monstrous team. I think I've heard Drewski say this is the home of Von Miller here. So this beastie team, man, they would destroy. Well, they wouldn't destroy. They would actually. This is a good game, 42-20 over Wiley East, and they'll be heading on over to take on Willis in the Alamo Dome. Cool. On the 24th next week. So that is the third round for them. Also, staying in Texas here, we have North Shore, the mighty North Shore Panthers here. They are heading on. Actually, let's see, who did they beat last night? They beat Clear Springs 49-21. And they'll be headed over to take on Cy-Fair in Cypress coming up next week. That is also the third round there in Texas. So they're really having some fun there. Modern Day continues their streak. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know what happened. It's like they forgot how to play football for one game, and then they just went back to dominating everybody. But yeah, of course, we know the first round, Jay Sarah, they would take down pretty easily. And 38-0. And then last night, Sierra Canyon, not too much of a challenge for these guys, 42-14. Next week, we get what we've been waiting for, the rematch with St. John Bosco. But boy, do we have so much to talk about with Bosco coming up here. The IMG Academy, Taryn, these freelance schools, last night, the IMG Academy took on St. Francis. St. Francis, we thought, not being jerks or anything, but they just had a horrible season. It's crazy. They picked it up towards the end, but this was actually a pretty good game. St. Francis came out, played good football. They did the best they could. The IMG Academy, though, topped them by 3 points, 17-14. Now, playoff realm, I don't know how that's going to work. Usually, they kind of just sit there now. I think their seasons are both done. But regardless, though, good victory there for IMG Academy, and if they did finish off their season, that's a 9-0 season as per usual, doing what they do. St. Francis Academy, if that is their last game, they'll finish at 5-6. Horrible start, picked it up during the year, ended it with a tough loss to IMG Academy. But anyway, then of course we're going to skip number 3. Chaminade Madonna, number 2. They would defeat Avant Garde Academy 67-0 last night, and they are now on to take on next week Cardinal Newman, 9-0 there out of West Palm Beach. It's a home playoff game there, so that is second round for them. And then, of course, number 1, Bishop Gorman, just kind of cruising this week. They didn't have a game. It's weird how their playoffs were set. They had an early playoff game on the 3rd. Nothing last week, which is kind of odd. I don't know. The last 2 weeks they didn't play, and then now they have their game versus Liberty out of Henderson coming up next week. It looks like on Tuesday, and that's really weird. So we'll keep track of that. Regardless, Taryn, the floor is yours, bro. Last night, man, St. John Bosco in that open Division I playoff. St. John Bosco, or Division I, that is. Sorry. St. John Bosco would take on a team that I'm very familiar with, the Football Factory, Corona Centennial. And dude, this was a battle. Tell us all about it, man.
Yeah, honestly, I knew Centennial was going to give everything that they got against Bosco. And in the end, Bosco came out on top by 1. But here's the thing. Centennial did get the go-ahead touchdown with 8 seconds remaining, and they could have kicked the extra point, but Matt Logan is that type of guy where if you get the go-ahead touchdown late in the game, he's going to go for 2 points and go for the win. And that is the smart decision because you play to win the game. And unfortunately for Centennial fans, they just didn't. They got stopped on the 2-point conversion, which was tough. But you got to credit Bosco's defense. Even though they were giving up 40-plus points, that was when the defense had to step up big time. I will also give credit to Centennial. They actually recovered the onside kick, so they gave themselves multiple chances to win. But again, it was an onside kick, and that didn't give them too much of another chance. It only gave him one more play before the quarterback got sacked by Bosco's defense. So all in all, it was a great game, an instant classic. Caleb Sanchez was just phenomenal for the Braves. He's going to have to be phenomenal next week when his team plays Mater Dei. And boy, howdy, it's going to be the hottest ticket in terms of high school football.
Taryn, I love the fact that we get this game again, especially after, of course, we all knew it was going to happen. Duh, they always meet in the playoffs and the regular season. But, Taryn, looking at the magnitude of this game now. Okay, so the southern section is, you usually get your state champion from there, at least in the last couple of years. And in this bracket right now, dude, I mean, it's insane to see what we've got going on because we know for a fact that last game was it was a tough one. It was tough to see Mater Dei lose like that because, I mean, they're just, it's Mater Dei, But seeing this team lose to 28-0 to a St. John Bosco team that is extremely talented, taking nothing away from them. But, Darren, seeing that happen, that was kind of rough to see. You're like, what the heck? That's not Mater Dei. Like, come on now. But it happened. Mater Dei picked it up. They moved forward. But, dude, that was fun. So, of course, Centennial. What next? What next, man? What do you think right now? This team, they've had their run-ins. They've played in this bracket for years. I mean, the recruiting. I mean, once again, we know. I mean, they can't recruit. They're a public school, but they definitely get a lot of people who move their families over there because they want to play for the mighty Corona Centennial. And it happens. But I will say this: Corona Centennial. I mean, do you feel that this team, I mean, of course, depending on who they keep, but do you really think that this team could be a real competitor next year to compete and actually get to the final of this bracket? Or do you feel this was just kind of a one-time deal for them right now?
I think this might have been the best chance that Centennial had, unless I don't know if they're ever going to get another chance, just because when you have a chance to go for the kill, you have to go for it, and you have to be perfect with it. Because if you don't, you're basically never going to get another chance like this ever again. And you got to give them credit. They did all they could. Going for 2 was the correct decision because you didn't want to out-duel them in overtime again and again and again. So, but honestly, I just feel that their window just kind of closed just because Bosco is going to continue to get better and better. They're going to improve. And honestly, they're a private school, unfortunately, and they have the power to recruit. But Matt Logan is going to do whatever he can to try to improve and keep up with the Joneses, to keep up with the Mater Deis and the Boscos and whatnot. I mean, you saw what happened last year. Centennial got bounced by Mission Viejo, and you probably couldn't hear a pin drop in that locker room after how that team lost on its home floor against Mission Viejo. So they knew they had to do something to make sure that that could never happen again, and they did. So I'm sure they're going to figure out something, but I just think that it's going to be a little bit of an uphill climb.
You hit it on the head, man. It's so rough, man. These public schools, they try, man. They freaking try. It's hard, It really is. Once again, that's just the ongoing argument. Should we have these public schools play in these private schools? But look, that was pretty damn good. Sierra Canyon, they came into that was the Final Four. That was it, Taryn. St. John Bosco versus Corona Centennial, and then Sierra Canyon taking on Mater Dei. Mater Dei, we talked about them, 42-14. They just easily skated their way there. I mean, you don't want to call it easy, but I mean that's a pretty deciding score, Taryn. 42-14 is not necessarily the most competitive game. But then you get into this, and St. John Bosco and Centennial, man, going head to head. Yeah, I tip my cap to these guys, man. I really do. The Football Factory, I've driven by this school many, many, many times. Went in the city of Corona, right there off of Rimpau. I mean, just a great, great, great organization that they've put together, a great program that they put together. They've organized it well. Coach Logan, great dude. I've known a teacher there who was absolutely amazing. The woman tutored me to pass math. I mean, it's amazing. Like I said, Centennial, man, there's some great people there. Very, very, very great people, and just a great community. And I really hope that this team can reload somehow in the near future. But hats off to these guys, really. Corona Centennial, y'all. You the Football Factory. That was hell of a run this year, man. Hell of a run. So next week, Darren, this is it. This is it. This is the biggest game we're going to get in California. You said it, the hottest ticket to town. St. John Bosco, Mater Dei. We talked about this already. We talked about if Mater Dei wins this thing, they haven't lost to anybody else. They haven't. They haven't lost to nobody. St. John Bosco lost to Kahuku. Mater Dei destroyed Kahuku. So, right now, Bishop Gorman's number one. And it's happening. Bishop Gorman, I'm sure, they're going to continue to do their thing and win state in Nevada. But these two, St. John Bosco, if they win this thing, do they somehow leapfrog Gorman? You said no last time. But does it change now? And Mater Dei, if Mater Dei wins this game and goes on to win state. Of course, that's assuming that both these teams go on to win state, by the way. Sorry. But right now, we're in the first stage of this. What do you think, Taryn? Do you still feel true to those feelings where if St. John Bosco still goes on to win state, that they're still going to be the runner-up and Gorman will be the champions? Or do you feel that that may change? Or do you feel that if Mater Dei goes on and does their thing, regardless of that loss to regardless of that loss to St. John Bosco, they're going to be the national champions again? What are you feeling about that again?
Yeah, I think it would have to be Bishop Gorman being number one. And honestly, I just don't see a scenario where they're not number one. Maybe if they lose along the way, then Bosco could swoop up and jump them. But I don't think Bishop Gorman is losing anytime soon.
No.
Or if they get into a matchup with a close team or with a team that they're not supposed to.
Very true. Now, Mater Dei runs the table and wins state. What do you got?
I think they could jump up.
Yeah, we're sticking to our feelings, I believe, here, so, about this. So, all right, Darren, well, high school football, man, it's just, it's so much fun. And like I said, last night in California, we had ourselves a close one because, boy, that was a scare for St. John Bosco, man. That was a scare for the ages for those guys. But hats off to them, though. They did a really good job and got that victory. So, there we go. That's all set. The stage is set for the Division I State Southern Section Championship, and the winner of this is definitely going to go to the Open and more than likely win state. Not discrediting the NorCal teams, and anything could happen, but I'm just saying that Mater Dei St. John Bosco guys, they've been the nastiest teams for a little bit now, so for a while, right? So anyway, Taryn, we are moving on to junior college football, and dude, last week was a kind of a, it was kind of funny because you and I were going back and forth. we were watching the streams. Okay, let's get it over with. Let's rip off the Band-Aid. Riverside Community College went in the middle of their nice, beautiful, redone field that I played on, that so many greats played on, and laid a gigantic crap. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not discrediting at all Fullerton. But, I mean, it was horrible. The play calling, at the end of the game, just they didn't look like they were trying to. I mean, it just looked really bad. Giving up a huge pass over the middle. I mean, it was just a kind of a pitiful ending, and it really, really irritated me. I still love my Tigers; they're still in it, but it just irritated me because, well, definitely they got the lower seed now. But yes, last week, Darren, Fullerton will defeat Riverside, and it hurt, and I hated it, but it happened. And, well, the Fullerton, I always forget, they're the Jackets, right?
Hornets.
I always think they're the Yellow Jackets, but because I think of the little bee from Georgia Tech. Yeah, good old Georgia. I think of that little bee, but yes, the Hornets of Fullerton will come and knock off the Riverside Tigers 17-16. Very good defensive game, but Fullerton finishes at 10-0. Riverside finishes at 9-1. Mount San Antonio, of course, Mount Sac, they will do away with Golden West 33-21. It was crazy, man. Mount Sac finishes now at 10-0. Golden West at 8-2. So that's a serious playoff implication type game there. And that was really it. I mean, we saw, actually, no, I'm sorry. And another major upset here. San Mateo, the team that had lost one earlier this year, well, they would give it back. They would give a loss. They would take a major loss, but give one as they defeated City College of San Francisco, the Rams, 44-17. Man, I don't know if I would have rather lost like RCC did or lose like the Rams did, because that was a stake in the heart. But the Bulldogs took them to school, man. 44-17. San Francisco was number one for a while. No longer. Okay, the shakeup was real last week. And just to mention this, because you're a good dude, Taryn, and this is your team right here, man. This has nothing to do with the playoffs whatsoever, but I don't give a crap. Can we get a gigantic special shout out with the applause button to OCC? Taryn is laughing over there. You think he's muted. Taryn, you guys will escape a 0-10 season and actually get a victory to end the season with a 20-14 win over the SBVC Wolverines, who also finished 1-9. I'm sorry. So, Taryn can put anybody in a good mood. Let me tell you why. So last week, I'm watching this game, and I'm in disbelief. The Riverside game. They lose. I'm flipping out. I tell Taryn. Taryn's like, oh, crap. And Taryn's like, is automatic like a bookworm with any sport. Like, he'll go and dig and find anything immediately. He's like a freaking encyclopedia. So Taryn's like, oh my gosh. And it's funny because he's telling me, like, this happened. Like, tight end got a gigantic gouge over the middle, and then the defense laid an egg, and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's exactly what happened. And he's like, he's doing Taryn things as per usual, doing his thing. And then he's like, out of nowhere, I think he just jumped on the stream for OCC and SBVC, and he starts watching it. He's like, can you believe it? He said something along the lines of, OCC knows how to snatch a loss from the jaws of victory. and he's talking about the people in the chat room, what they're saying. So I have to go find the game so I go find the stream. And it's great. But this game at SBVC, I've played on that field before. I've been on that campus before. It's a It's a night school, and it's funny because OCC, man, they got it done. It was the commentator, of course, Pep Fernandez. He's a the Inland Empire show here in the IE. He's a great dude. He was covering it, and people were even telling him in the chat room like, Pep, you're awesome covering two crappy teams and still making it sound interesting. Like, it was funny, man. So Darren, talk about that game, man. OCC, your Pirates finished with a victory.
Yeah, as you basically put it. It was the toilet bowl, but it was an exciting toilet bowl, and it might have been one of the more exciting games on that Saturday. And OCC had to pull out a lot of tricks, and they almost gave the game away. I'm not gonna lie, they almost lost that game. They when they got down to the red zone on the final drive. They almost fumbled it. They almost pulled a Miami against Georgia Tech, but they were able to recover. And when they went for the field goal, they almost pulled a USC, but their kick was blocked. But there was a penalty flag, and to their amusement and to their surprise, they actually saw that the flag was on San Bernardino Valley, and it was a leverage call, and that actually wound up giving them an automatic first down and the game. And it was like late in the game. I think there was like 30-ish seconds left, and that was how they won. And I did not have that on my bingo card, winning on a leverage call. And I feel bad for San Bernardino Valley. Well, OCC really needed this one. Like, there would have been no worse feeling than going 0-10. And I know OCC only finished 1-9, but hey, they didn't finish last in conference. Got to remember that. At least they didn't finish last in something.
Darren, I'll tell you, bro. I'm sorry, this is great. You were having. What did that person say in the chat room that was freaking hilarious? I forgot what they said.
San Bernardino Valley can't have nice things.
Dude, I'll tell you, man. OCC
missed points, missed extra points, fumbles, exchanged fumbles, as interceptions, and then blown coverages. This game just had everything and more.
If you needed to pick me up, this game was perfect. It was wonderful. Oh man, I loved it. It was a good game. And yeah, so after watching RCC lose, these guys were like 7 minutes to go, and I flip over to that stream because Terran's over here telling me like, it seems like a pretty hilarious game. And I saw, man, when they won, I was like, oh man, I was like, good for these guys, man, good for the Pirates. Two OCC teams came to the IE and took victories, man. Fullerton over Riverside and SBVC, and OCC over SBVC. Just a great game for the Pirates, though, man, and congrats to those guys. But next week the Pirates are. Next season the Pirates are playing. Just kidding. Just kidding.
At least they're going in on a 1-game winning streak.
Hey, they can build on that. That's all that matters. Yeah. So, anyway, Sarah. So, last week, dude, just all that craziness. This week, I don't know what happened. We got to look into this Compton thing for the Tartars. I don't know what happened here, but they forfeited to Santa Monica. I think some of the regular season games are still ending, which is what it is. Siskiyous and Redwoods, West Hills, Kalinga, and Gavilan. We have Foothill and De Anza, Hartnell and San Jose, Los Medanos and Yuba. Those are, up there in NorCal, and then Monterey Peninsula and Merced. But yeah, it's kind of crazy though, Darren. I'm looking at like ahead on the schedule here. Tomorrow, we have the first bowl game of the season. That's insane. A bowl game this early. That's crazy. The Southern California Bowl. It's going to be between COD, College of the Desert, and Santa Ana. Hey, how you like that one, Darren?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a little weird. They're having it on a Sunday, but I guess maybe they just can't have like certain matchups next week just because they don't want to like have it all crammed, and maybe it's a shortage of referees or something. And then I'm definitely seeing it, and maybe they just want to like spot like the certain bowl games so like no game overlaps one another.
Yeah, I could see that. So that works. Next up, Taryn, we got just more weirdness, more weird games. El Camino College will play Golden West in the Beach Bowl. That is that of course is on Monday, which is strange, but that is on Monday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. Then we got on Tuesday, Taryn. The weirdness isn't over. We have the Strawberry Bowl, because we all love strawberries. San Diego Mesa taking on Allen Hancock in the Strawberry Bowl on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Darren, what the heck? Why are we doing this? He's kidding. You're right, though. Maybe because of the referees. I can see that. Weird, right?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Then, of course, we get on to next week after Thanksgiving. Here's where we really start. So here are the regionals, you guys, for NorCal and SoCal. So San Francisco will take on American River up north next week. And Modesto will take on San Mateo. I don't know why I feel this way, but I think these two actually happened last year. Or maybe they were flip-flop, but I feel like Modesto and San Mateo have their run-ins a lot. I know they play, I think, in the regular season too. But anyway, and that's it. The winners go on to play each other, and then the winners of that go on to state. And then in Southern California, if Riverside would have won, I'm not saying anything bad about Ventura, but Ventura did make it. So the Final Four, Riverside, Mount Sac, Fullerton, and Ventura. If Riverside would have won, they would have been taking on Ventura, and Fullerton would have taken on Mount Sac. But now that they didn't, RCC has one hell of a game in front of them, taking on the 10-0 Mount Sac Mounties. They are a true rival of RCC. I played against them. Trust me. It's a rivalry, bro. Trust me. It's a rivalry. There's no love lost. You go into that game ready to brawl, man. Like, for real. Like, I mean, not necessarily, not putting a bad rep out there, not like actual fist fight, but you go out there ready to ball. Like, you want to hit, like, you just want to hit everything. Everyone. Referee gets in the way. Hit him too. Just kidding. But, I mean, head coach gets on the field. Hit him too. But trust me, man, this is a nasty game. It's ugly. It's really, really ugly. Usually Riverside and Mount Sac play in the same division, same conference, and they play, but this year they didn't, which is crazy. They moved around. Regardless, this is going to be fun. This is it, man. And Riverside's heading on over there to Walnut to take on the Mount Sac Mounties. So we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, we have Ventura taking on Fullerton. So that's it, Taryn. So, okay, a little bit of bracketology, Taryn. That's the bracket. So let's go NorCal first. San Francisco, American River, Modesto, San Mateo. Go.
I'm going to take... I actually want to take San Francisco in the win, and then I'll take San Mateo. And then for Southern California, I'll take Fullerton, and then I'll take RCC over Mount Sac.
That's going to be fun. So you're taking Frisco. I'm taking Frisco. I like American River. They have a solid team, but boy, that Rams team is damn good, and I know that they're pissed from last week, so I'm taking them. And as much as I would like to see Modesto upset San Mateo, because San Mateo destroyed RCC last year. Just kidding. No, I want to see that again if they were to meet up again, but the way Riverside's playing, I don't know. I'm just kidding. It could have been just one bad game. I can't fault Riverside. Hell of a season for those guys. So I'm taking San Mateo. Same thing. Of course, for sure, Fullerton over Ventura. That's no knock on Ventura. It's just Fullerton's a really solid team. And then I really hope Mount Sac doesn't defeat RCC and they don't have another crappy week like they did last time. But, yes, of course, I'm going with my Tigers to win this thing by a slim margin. And, man, I'll tell you right now, there's 3 games left. That's it. 3 games left for these teams. You win this one, You win the next one, you go to the championship, and you win that one. Riverside, if they're going to climb that ladder, that is one nasty ladder. You're going to know every single week is going to be, and I'm not saying that for the rest of the teams. Fullerton, let's just be real, it's not going to be the hardest for them to get past the first round. Second round, it's going to be a battle. Championship's going to be a battle. San Mateo, let's just be real, they're not really shallows. They're going to go on probably. And the same thing with San Francisco. So I feel like RCC has the toughest because you're playing Mount Sac first, then you're more than likely Fullerton, and then you're going to play one of these monsters from the north, which is definitely going to be either San Mateo or San Francisco. So, yeah, pick your poison. RCC, you did it to yourself, all right? So, they got to run the table. They got to run the table now, and it's got to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Might be some ugly wins there, depending on how far they go, but that's it. So, all right, Aaron, there you have it. We do have some more bowl games there coming up next week, but we'll get to those next week. We got some bowl games there and everything. But, okay, on to NJCAA football, Aaron. And, boy, we had some last week, the top four, man. I love how there was a little article here on the website so that the top four hold strong because they did. Or top five, I think, hold strong. But, I mean, when you look at these top teams, man, Hutchinson, they blew out Independence 42-8. Iowa Western, they held strong, but damn, did they have a good game did they have a tough game versus Coffeyville, whoops, I went too far back. Sorry, we talked about that already. Whoops. That was last week. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. We had, of course, there we go. Okay, now I found it. Okay, so last week, we had, and we talked about this last week, Iowa Western and Hutchinson would face each other. You had said, because we knew that this was actually going to be a possible precursor to the national championship. They played each other last year. Iowa Western blew these guys out 33-0 or something like that. And they played. Well, Taryn, Iowa Western would fall. The Reavers would fall to the Blue Dragons 42-28. Any surprises here?
Well, that Iowa Western Hutchinson one isn't ultimately surprising, but Hutchinson is just the real deal.
Number one, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're number one for a reason. It was a tough one. Hutchinson, they look good. They look strong. A good game for those guys. Navarro and Trinity, that was an amazing Texas matchup there. Navarro defeats Trinity 30-29. Also, we had here, let's see, Snow and Monroe College, Snow over Monroe College 32-13. So, I mean, really, and Kilgore over New Mexico Military 37-35. So, some good games there, but yeah, man, I mean, like it says a lot. It's crazy to see those two teams play there at the end of the season, the Reavers and the Blue Dragons. Man, we got some good stuff there. But, all right, Darren, well, here we are now. We got some championship games today. That's really it. Navarro and Kilgore, battle of two Texas teams here in the SWJCFC Championship. We have, let's see here, Copia Lincoln and East Mississippi in the MACCC Championship. And then it says New Mexico Military versus TBA. I don't know. Oh, I guess they're probably playing next week in the SWJCFC Championship, or not sure how that works. But regardless, I do know that that's what we got here today. And then in the coming weeks, we will definitely have the Final Four put together, how they do in the NJCAA does here. So anyway, but yeah, so that's a little bit of junior college football. Ty Keys still leading the charge, man. 2,709 yards out of East Mississippi. This dude is getting it through the air. He's also, look at this, I mean, per game, that's crazy. His average, 270.9 per game. Darion Peace, 287.8 he's averaged per games a year. Amazing, man. He's done an amazing job here. Both these schools have done great. Donovan Smith out of Snow College, 2,477 yards through the air. And touchdowns. Taking a look at this, man. We have some ballers here. Ty Keys, 27 touchdowns on the year out of East Mississippi. Cameron Peters out of Kilgore, 26 touchdowns. Donovan Smith out of Snow, 25 touchdowns. Hamas Duran out of Lackawanna, 23 touchdowns. And Kobe Muasu, I believe, out of New Mexico Military with 22 touchdowns. So just a great year for these guys. More to come on the NJCAA as we move forward. But so anyway, Darren, there we have it. And well, we have ourselves some good stuff there in junior college football. So, all right, Darren, we are moving on over to the NAIA briefly because the playoffs are set, man. The playoffs are all set, and we have our first round here. Of course, the top 12, which is crazy how they do it, but they advanced. Okay, so it says here on the NAIA.org website, the top 12 seeds received a first round bye, which is pretty cool. But today, it says here, the full field features 13 automatic qualifiers and 7 at-large berths. In order to qualify for an automatic bid, teams must win their conference regular season or divisional title. At-large berths were determined by the NAIA Football National Selection Committee. Teams earning an at-large berth must be ranked in the top 25 or final of the final NAIA coaches poll. So a lot of these teams went on through. We already know. Well, I could go through those teams right now, but the first round starts today. St. Thomas out of Florida. They went 8-3 this year. They take it on Reinhardt. Okay, out of Georgia. And it says that this is crazy, Darren. All these little snippets they have here. This marks the first FCS appearance in Bobcat program history, which is pretty cool for St. Thomas. The Eagles are playing, and this is Reinhardt, are playing in the postseason for the 9th straight season. Of course, Reinhardt, amazing, very good school. Reinhardt snagged their place by winning the Appalachian Athletic Conference. STU, St. Thomas, is in the mix as an at-large out of the Sun Conference. Pretty cool. And the Bobcats are second in the country, scoring 46.6 points per game, which is huge. And Reinhardt is second in the NAIA at 17.9 pass yards completions. So, what do you think, man? Are you going with this underdog team here, St. Thomas? First time they ever got to this stage in their program? Or do you think Reinhardt, as they've done year after year, the last 9 years, think they're going to move on to the next round?
Oh, man, that is tough. I mean, you've got the first-timer in St. Thomas versus the experienced team in Reinhardt. I really want to see St. Thomas advance, but if it go, I just think that experience is going to be what factors in the most. So I gotta go with Reinhardt.
Yeah, man. I think so, too. I would like to see. It'd be really cool to see St. Thomas do it, but yeah, I'm going to go with Reinhardt as well. So, moving on, Montana Tech. Darren, we talked about these guys this year, and we knew they would get this far, and they did. Montana Tech, 7-3 on the year. They're taking on Dickinson State at 9-1 out of North Dakota. So, the Diggers are back into the postseason after a 7-year hiatus. Meanwhile, the Blue Hawks are playing in the FCS for the 9th year in a row, which is pretty crazy. Okay, DSU claimed their spot by winning once again, the North Star Athletic Association. Tech earned an at-large berth from the Frontier Conference. Dickinson State is 4th in the nation in the red zone touchdown conversion rate, 76%. Montana Tech's Andrew Olmos is the national leader in average yards per punt. Crazy, 45.7. This is crazy, man. Another one. Man, how about that? Okay, so I got to say this. This is awesome. All right. What I like here is that we have another type of deal like this. The Blue Hawks, Dickinson State, they've been around, Taryn. They've been around, just like Reinhardt. Montana Tech, and they just got in. 7-3. Didn't have the best record. But they are back after a 7-year hiatus from the playoffs. Taryn, another one of these goodies here in the NAI. Who you got?
Yeah, and it's a great feel-good story as well. But as you said, Dickinson State has probably one of the better red zone offenses. So It's tough. I think I gotta go with Dickinson State. I hate to go against the home team, but again, I think experience just is so much crucial and key.
It's true. I really agree with that, Taryn. So, hey, look at we know this team. We know both these teams. Dordt out of Iowa and Ottawa out of Kansas. Dordt will be at 8-2. Ottawa at 6-5. So Dordt grabbed one of the 7 at-large berths out of the Great Plains Athletic Conference. The Braves booked their postseason by claiming the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference Bissell Division crown. This marks the second ever appearance by the Defenders in the postseason, or in the football postseason. Pretty cool. Ottawa is playing for their first time since 2014, Darren. Dordt is third in rushing yards per game with 246.1 yards, and OU has 800 total tackles this season, third among NAIA teams. Oh my gosh, Darren. I mean, this is so hard to pick these teams. Wow. That's pretty cool. So, Dordt, I mean, we take a look at here. I don't know. This is kind of a toughie here. Today, of course, let's see here. I'm not sure who the home team is here in this game. Might be Ottawa. I think so. But anyway, yeah, so this is a tough one. We have Ottawa, of course, an extremely solid team here. I don't know. This is hard to pick. I'm going back and forth here in my head. I'm trying to make something work here, but I don't know, man. Who do you got in this one?
This is going to be at Dordt, but stranger things have happened. I'm going to say Dordt.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's definitely. I mean, they're a good school, man. They're a good school, and we'll see. We'll see how this team maxes up. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of hard, but yeah, you know what? I'm going to take Ottawa just to be safe in this one, Darren. I don't know. They've been around. Let's see what they can do. But okay, next up, last one here. We have Baker, Kansas, 8-2. Louisiana Christian, 9-1. So the Baker Wildcats earned their spot in the FCS as the Heart of America's South Division champion. The LCU Wildcats are playing in their first NAIA postseason game in program history, Taryn. How about that? Louisiana Christian, 9-1 season. Another feel-good, as you said. Here we go. After a 2-year gap, Baker is making their 20th appearance. Wow. In this tournament. Louisiana Christian earned the AQ from the Sooner Athletic Conference, and Baker posted 22 defensive interceptions, which puts them second nationally. And then LCU is second in the country with 2,821 total rushing yards. This is a tough one, Taryn. Are we taking the OG Baker? We know Baker. We've seen Baker around, all right? But are we taking this 9-1 team, this Louisiana Christian team? Are we going with Baker? I don't know. That's a toughie.
I'm going to go with Louisiana Christian.
I think so, too. Let's go upset, man. Let's do it. It's not even an upset, but it can be considered still kind of like an upset. So, I don't know. But that would be fun. And, of course, other teams, I mean, you got those major monsters that made it out of here, of course. The, Morningside, Evangel, I mean, a lot of these teams, Kaiser, the defending champions, Northwestern, Marion, all these monster schools all did make it. What was that?
Grandview is another team.
Grandview, and I mean, just extremely solid teams. Next week we're going to see the seedings and the tournament more play out on the website, I think. But yeah, as for right now, those are our picks there for the NAIA. Well, Taryn, we're going on into the NCAA now, courtesy of NCAA.com, because the Division III champion, or the Division III bracket is here. Time for a little more bracketology, Taryn. In the top left-hand corner, we have here Wisconsin Lacrosse, Minnesota Morris, Aurora, Coe, Trinity, Texas, Hardin-Simmons, North Central, and Belhaven. Bottom left, Wartburg, who made a very impressive run last year. Illinois. Oops, there we go. Illinois colleague, sorry. Whitworth, hey, out of Washington State. Remember playing them, we were at Laverne. Let's see here. Chapman, Wheaton, out of Illinois. Mount St. Joseph, Wisconsin Whitewater, and Bethel out of Minnesota. The top right bracket is as follows. Mount Union, hey, where's Gen B at? Alfred State, Alma, DePaul, Endicott, Cortland, Susquehanna, Grove City. And then the bottom right, Johns Hopkins, West Connecticut, Delaware Valley, Union of New York, Springfield, Ithaca, Randolph-Macon, and Chris Newport. Taryn, those are the teams that made it this year. I mean, it's crazy to see, right? I mean, these teams on their way. They're looking good, looking strong. I mean, good job to Chapman. You know, I played the SIAC, so cool to see, you know, this team this year. I don't think I've seen a SIAC team ever go to the second round. So let's hope that the Panthers can do it. We'll see. But all right, Taryn, let's give you bracketology, man. Top left, top left. Who you taking?
Hang on.
Still pulling it up there.
Yeah. I'm on the scores, so.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, man. Top left, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I do feel that North Central, of course, I mean, we got the defending champions up there. I feel it'll probably come down to them and maybe Wisconsin Lacrosse or Aurora. Regardless, though, I'm going to take North Central out of that bracket.
Yeah, same with me. I'll take North Central too.
I mean, they're the defending champs, man. I mean, we can only, you know, they had an amazing undefeated season. They're just looking good. So, Wartburg.
Can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them.
That's for sure, man. So, in that bottom left-hand corner, Wartburg just, I don't know. They had such a good season last year. They topped it off with another one this year. I want to see Chapman do good. I really do, Taryn. But, I mean, when you got monsters like Wisconsin Whitewater in there, even, you know, Whitworth, they're okay, but I definitely gotta say, if I gotta pick one team out of here, I think it's gonna come down to Wartburg and Whitewater, but I do feel that, I don't know, man, give me a Wartburg after the season they had last year. Give me this team to actually knock off Whitewater in this bracket. What do you think?
Yeah, I honestly think that these Wisconsin teams are really gonna bring it, and if they face one another, all bets are off. It's going to be a barn burner, and you could basically forget about predicting anything correctly. Yeah.
That's for sure, man. That is for sure. So, okay. So, what do you think? Who are you going to take out of that bracket? You taking Whitewater?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, we have in the top right bracket. I mean, I'm a fool if I don't take Mount Union, right? I mean, there's no other team there, Darren. I mean, Alma, we saw them last year. Endicott, they've been around. Cortland, we've seen them around. But Taryn, no one in this entire top right bracket stands out to me at all, much like Mount Union. I think they're going to skate right through this bracket and on to the semifinals.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Susquehanna could give them a battle if they get there, but I don't know. I'm taking Mount Union all day.
Yeah, same here. Mount Union is just a juggernaut. If you're picking against Mount Union, you better hope that you better be the boldest man or woman in the world.
Yeah, those Purple Raiders don't play, man. So, next up in that bottom right bracket, Johns Hopkins, we know they're a good, solid school. They're going to get somewhere. Regardless, though, I don't know. This is to me, this is the most open bracket. Springfield and Ithaca, that was like a good game. You know, I mean, all these teams are going head-to-head today. We're going to find out. Some of these are just hours away. So, I don't know, Taryn. If I'm going to pick somebody, though, in that bottom right, I'm going to go St. John's. I mean, sorry, not St. John's. Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, I think Johns Hopkins sounds like the logical choice, in my opinion.
Yeah. So we shall see how it all plays out, man, as we go on to Division 2. Same deal here. We got some first-round buys, of course, in Division 2. So, top left bracket, Slippery Rock, East Stroudsburg, Charleston out of West Virginia, New Haven, Kutztown, and Virginia Union. First-round buy there is Tiffin. They had an amazing season, by the way. They had an 11-0 season, man. It's pretty crazy seeing these guys, get that record. But they will have the first round bye, and they will take on the winner of Slippery Rock in East Stroudsburg. Then we have here bottom left-hand bracket, Benedict with the first overall seed here, so look at that first round bye. Then we have Lenore Ryan and Shepherd. They're playing each other. And the winner takes on Benedict. I think we all know who Shepherd is now after Bagent with the Chicago Bears, playing. But yes, Shepherd's been around for a while, guys. But anyway, Delta State taking on the Argos of West Florida. I can only hope that they do good, but we'll see. Valdosta State taking on Limestone. That is the bottom left bracket. Top right-hand bracket, we have Central Missouri taking on Henderson State, and the winner will take on number 1 overall seeded here, Harding. Okay. Then we have Grand Valley State taking on Ferris State. 2 years in a row, Ferris State will be knocked off by Grand Valley just for Ferris to knock them off, Grand Valley State, in the playoffs. Will it happen again this year? We'll see. And we have Pittsburgh State taking on Indy. And then bottom right, Augustana out of South Dakota taking on Minnesota State. Western Colorado taking on Central Washington, and Texas Permian Basin taking on Bemidji State. Darren, this looks like a fun bracket because I like how I think anybody can really win this thing. So, top left bracket. Who are you taking?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Dealing with allergies.
You're good, brother.
Give me Slippery Rock and Charleston and Kutztown.
They look good. Those teams look good. I honestly think that Tiffin's actually going to go through all the way, though, to the semis.
Yeah, anything's possible. I mean, now that you're in the postseason, no one cares what you did in the regular season. It's a whole different ballgame. You're 0-0, and anything can happen at this point.
No, that's for sure, man. So, okay, bottom left-hand bracket. That's a toughie. West Florida, Delta State, Lenore Ryan, Shepherd. Limestone. Yeah, they're good. But Valdosta State, dude, all of these schools in the bottom left are stacked. Like, these are good schools, man. So, you know me, I want to pick West Florida. I don't think they're going to do it. But I do have this crazy feeling, man. I'm going to go with Valdosta State coming out of the bottom left. Who are you taking?
I'm going to go with Lenore Ryan.
Good school. Very good school. So, yes, I believe Kyle Duggar from the Patriots came from there, right? I think. But, yeah, very good school there. So, okay, next up, top right. We have, I don't know. This is hard because Grand Valley and Ferris are both playing each other in the first round. I think the winner of that game is going to win it all in this one. Or win this bracket for sure. But you know what, man? Give me Grand Valley. I'm going to go with the Lakers. Some Lakers got to be good, right? And it's not the ones in LA. So I'm going to go with Grand Valley State here with, out of that top right bracket. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd go with Grand Valley State too.
Good school, man. The bottom right, very, very fun bracket down here. Western Colorado, man, very solid school here. It's just crazy to think, dude. I mean, Division 2 is nuts. I mean, you got then of course, I'm sorry, School of Mines, of course, they are the number 1 overall seed, and they are the Augustana and Minnesota State. They're going head to head to take on the School of Mines. But honestly, Taryn, I'm just going to go School of Mines all day. I think the School of Mines is actually going to win this thing. Probably the whole thing this year, but I'm going to take them for sure to come out of this bracket.
Since I haven't really picked a number 1 seed, I'll pick Colorado School of Mines.
Good pick there. I really think that's going to happen this year, man. We shall see. So, okay. So there it is. There are all of our tournaments all the good stuff there or at least for at the moment. And then moving on into the FCS. So, dude, the FCS has been just fun. Like, really, really, really fun. I enjoy this so much. This season, like I said, if it wouldn't be for all these freaking FCS, FBS games, the FCS would be even better, personally. But the FCS, man, we've seen Montana State this year jump up. We've seen Montana have that moment where they're like, wait a minute, aren't we big brother in this? They jumped up, you know? So, I mean, it's like we've seen some crap, man, this year. We've seen Sacramento State become a close call, you know, in a few times, but couldn't get it done. You know, we've seen some crazy stuff happen. We've seen a we've seen a Division II Colorado Mesa team come and defeat a USD team. I'm sorry, Taryn. Taryn gets hung up, guys. Okay, well, I'm gonna do the rest of the show by myself. Taryn ended the call. Just kidding. But last week, dude, we've had some crap happen. Like, whoa. Okay, so these rankings are nuts. They've been something to watch. But taking a look at these, Montana did away with Portland State 34-10, just continuing their path of fury. Sacramento State, like they were going to get challenged by Cal Poly, okay, but they, whatever they did, it was kind of a good game. But 41-30, regardless, North Dakota State did not lose to Southern Illinois, but they've taken 2 dings already this year, 3 dings already. So North Dakota State is just no longer looking like the Giants they once were. They'll reload, but anyway, they get that victory, 34-10 over Southern Illinois. Or South Illinois, I don't know how they say it over there. But Montana State, though, man, just absolutely destroying East Washington 57-14. Talk about another big victory there for the Bobcats. And we're seeing that. But the game of the week last week for us was North Dakota and South Dakota. The 2 teams that are like the little brothers, I guess you can say, in the 4 teams of South Dakota State, North Dakota State, South Dakota, North Dakota. And man, the Fighting Hawks and the Coyotes went head to head. It was a great game. South Dakota won that thing 14-10, a very good defensive game. They're at home. Good for the Coyotes. I'm so looking forward to seeing where they end up in the freaking tournament. That's going to be so much fun to see where they are. And yeah, so South Dakota State whooped all over Youngstown State, man, 34-0. I mean, this has just been a fun season, man. So moving forward, well, Taryn, here we go. This is what we've been waiting for. This week, this is a good week for the FCS because, well, I can think of, well, as we've been talking about, I can think of one game that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks that I got circled on this calendar. And that is happening in 3 hours' time. The 8-2 Montana State Bobcats are taking on the 9-1 Montana Grizzlies. Taryn, this is a fun rivalry. It's a fun one. It is a very fun rivalry. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. I hope all of you can watch. Taryn, Montana State and Montana has been a rivalry forever. All right? This has been... Their first meeting was in 1897. Pretty crazy. Okay. Last year, Montana State smacked these guys 55-21. And, well, this time, what are we going to see? The history between these 2 games is awesome. Montana actually leads, though, the all-time series 73-42. 73-42 and 5. There's been 5 draws. And it's just been amazing. It's been amazing. You can go back to some of the big notable games. I mean, I believe, well, last year was a pretty big one, even though it ended up the way it did. But, I mean, regardless, this is just one of those games. Taryn, we talk about throwing the records out. I mean, last year, Montana State would defeat Montana, and the year before that, and that was in Bozeman. The year before that, in 2021, Montana would defeat Montana State 29 to 10 in Missoula. Montana State before that would win in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. Before that, Montana would win in 2015, 14, and 13. Before that, Montana State would win in 2012. Before that, Montana would win in 2011. Before that, in 2010, Montana State would win. And it's just incredible how these two teams just keep on going back and forth, man. You know, I mean, look at that. Montana won all the way from 2016 all the way to, from 2006 all the way to 2009. I mean, it's just been amazing. There was this big stretch, though, from 1986 all the way until 2001, where Montana won every year. Montana State would break that streak in 2002, winning 2 back-to-backs there in 02 and 03. Then Montana wins in 04. And then as we just went on, 05, Montana State. Montana all the way from 06 to 09, and we just continue. So, Taryn, these guys have been going back and forth, man. It's been fun. It's a great rivalry game. Today, they go head-to-head in just a few hours. This has major playoff implications, Taryn. Major. Because the seed... We saw RCC earlier. Okay, we talked about them laying an egg. Taryn, who do you got, man? Who do you got and why?
I think Montana gets it done barely. I think they're going to eke out a win. And I think they're just going to have a balanced attack. I think they have the more balanced attack offensively.
I think so. It's going to be a fun one. I think the Grizzlies are a good team. They're a good team, and they're looking good. But if I got to pick somebody, Taryn, I'm going to go with the Bobcats in this one because, well, why not? They're a hell of a team. I think we're going to have a good one here. Let's see who does what, man. Grizzlies and Bobcats going head-to-head today. Let's find out who's who. And, of course, a couple more teams. I mean, Ivy League games are always fun. But, but that's the one. Actually, that's just the one. There's some other games going on. Of course, a lot of other ones today, but that's the game. If you don't have that game circled, I don't know what's wrong with you. That's the one. So, all right, Taryn. And then, of course, on to the FBS. Well, it's completely safe to say. We kind of knew what was going to happen last week. SC just fell apart again to Oregon. What do you think, Taryn? SC is just down the toilet now.
Yep, they went from postseason aspirations to basically being unranked, and they can't even play for the Pac-12 championship. And this rivalry, I would say the rivalry game has no meaning, but it's basically just for pride and for glory.
That's it. Both of these teams, UCLA and USC, the winner plays in the Hallmark Movie Marathon Bowl.
Because there's at least one happy ending when it comes to that game.
That's going to be great. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Last week, there were some fun ones. There were some fun ones. Michigan, of course, apparently now Coach Harbaugh is going to serve a 3-game suspension. You heard anything about that?
Yeah, he served it last week against Penn State. And Michigan was able to beat Penn State fairly easily.
Yeah, not the biggest challenge there. 24-15. Also, Texas Tech with the upset over number 16 Kansas, 16-13. Is that really an upset, Darren? I don't know. I just kind of feel like Kansas is kind of up there because they got ranked somehow. I don't know. Is that an upset to you?
I mean, it kind of is, but at the same time, it kind of isn't. Because Texas Tech is kind of under the radar, in my opinion. And they're trying to fight for a bowl game. But I think that is definitely an upset, looking at it.
Yeah, that's true. Now that I look at it, I say the same thing. Okay. Number 21, Arizona knocks off Colorado 34-31. Taryn, this is just another dagger in Colorado. They're 4-6. They're not even bowl eligible. They had such high aspirations.
They have to win out.
They have to win out. Taryn, is it fair?
Well, they actually lost yesterday, so now they're no longer bowl eligible. So You're right. My bad.
Oh, you're good, Taryn. But is it fair? Is it fair for everyone to jump all over Prime now and say that, it was supposed to be a great season, whatever, they're 4-6 now, you guys suck, because everyone's freaking out right now talking so much crap. Is it fair that people are doing that to Prime?
Well, when everyone was on the Coach Prime train, that was back when they were 3-0 and they beat TCU, which had lost most of their roster from the previous year, Nebraska, which isn't all that great, no offense, Husker fans, and Colorado State, which they barely beat, even though they did lose one of their top wide receivers. And then once the schedule started going upward into Pac-12 play, they had to take on an Oregon team who, on the road, mind you, that was for real. They barely eked it. Or they barely lost against USC because USC out-offensed them. They lost to an Arizona State, or they beat an Arizona State team barely, and then they lost to a Stanford team in double overtime, and they lost to a UCLA team that was starting to lose its identity before the time, and they lost to an Oregon State team which has a strong defense and has a very good quarterback on the rise in Aiden Childs. And then Arizona, as we know, that team has been vastly improving with Noah Fafita at quarterback and Tadaro McMillan just catching everything from him. And then this was pretty much the coup de grace right here, or this was pretty much the dagger for Colorado. This was actually an elimination game for both Washington State and Colorado. Whoever lost this was going to be eliminated from bowl game eligibility, and Washington State just blew the doors off Colorado in Pullman. So, and there was even a 98-yard touchdown. So,
oh my goodness. Yeah, it's not fair.
Yeah, it was actually a kickoff return.
That's amazing. It's not fair to write off Prime and to say all this crap here and there. But you know what? Good for them. The media is off their back. Let him build that team the way he wants to. I think they're going to be a major contender in the coming years. So.
And remember, they're going to the Big 12 next year, so they won't have to deal with the USCs, the Oregons, the Washingtons. Because, in my opinion, when it comes to this year, they're in a conference where there's someone better, or there's multiple teams better than them.
Yeah.
So now that they're going to get the Big 12, with Texas leaving, mind you, they might have a better shot at being better than certain teams. But for now, they got to end the year on a high note, because this is definitely unacceptable. They have lost 5 in a row, which is unacceptable. And if you date back to their 3-0 start, they've lost 7 of the last 8.
That's incredible. Wow. Well, Taryn, you bring up the Big 12, and I wanted to bring up some interesting stuff that our very own Martin Sandoval, of course, the SoCal Saint from our wrestling show here, the IE Wrestling Show here on IE Sports Radio on Tuesday mornings. Catch him there. Awesome stuff there. I think it's on Wednesdays now, but always does an amazing job. But Taryn, he sent me a crazy little article here that was written by Bad Rose on WrestlingAttitude.com, November 16, 2023. And Taryn, it says, WWE nearing deal with Big 12 Conference. Is this news to you?
Yeah, this is news to me.
Well, Taryn, let's read it. So, it's a short read, but WWE nearing deal with Big 12 Conference. WWE's recent venture into sports partnerships started with their multi-year licensing deal with the NFL in August, has paved the way for innovative collaborations. The agreement with the NFL led to the creation of the NFL-inspired WWE Legacy Championship belts, featuring the distinct colors and branding of all 32 teams. These championship belts are now available for purchase at NFLshop.com, WWEshop.com, and Fanatics.com. Okay, making a significant milestone as their first ever licensing deal between WWE and the NFL. Okay, expanding on this success, WWE is now setting its sights on collegiate sports, specifically with the Big 12 Conference. Despite the imminent departure of Oklahoma and Texas to the SEC next year, the Big 12 still boasts prominent schools like Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech. Reports from WrestleVotes indicate that WWE and the Big 12 Conference are on the verge of finalizing an agreement. This deal would grant WWE the rights to produce licensing Big 12 merchandise, or licensed Big 12 merchandising. Sorry, I read that wrong. Merchandise. Timing it perfectly for the upcoming college football bowl season next month. If successful, this collaboration could potentially pave the way for WWE to explore similar partnerships with other major conferences like the SEC and the Big Ten in the future. And yeah, WrestleVotes right here actually says that Big 12 and WWE partnership. They posted a picture on X, and it says, "I'm told that the WrestleVotes tweeted, I'm told WWE and the Big 12 Conference are nearing an agreement which would allow WWE to produce licensed Big 12 merchandise focused around the upcoming college football bowl season. Another big step in the sports world for WWE." Taryn, how about that?
That is crazy, if you ask me.
Interesting for sure.
Yeah.
It was something. So, yeah, I mean, hey, licensing, producing stuff, cool. I mean, that's pretty neat. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to be putting on freaking highlights of matches during games on the Megatron. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, this is pretty cool. Or on the Titantron, I'm sorry, but anyway, that was a pretty cool, and Martin wanted me to announce that on the show. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see how this partnership goes and what they continue to do in collaboration-wise. But anyway, Terrence, so there was going to continue with some more games from last week. We'll make it short and sweet. Florida State defeats Miami 27-20. Taryn, is Miami back?
No!
I'm sorry. That was funny. Anyway, Washington, number 5, Washington knocks out over 18 Utah. I mean, just what we thought. Washington would eke that one by. Really good game there. UCF absolutely belted number 15 Oklahoma State 45-3. What the crap happened? Like, seriously, that was nuts. The game of the week was absolutely horrible, as we knew this would happen. Number 1 Ohio State just runs all over the Spartans of Michigan State 38-3. TCU had a very good game here. They fought Texas very well. 29-26, though. Texas won this thing on the road. We thought LSU and Florida would be a good game, and it was kind of, but LSU definitely got the better of them. Number 19 LSU, that is. 52-35. But Taryn, the game that was the funnest one from last week, man. Number 24 North Carolina over Duke. 47-45 in double overtime. Dude, we knew it was going to be a freaking banger. We knew it was going to be a great game. We knew it. And damn it, it was. It was a great game. Oh, I loved it. I was so excited watching that thing. And we both picked North Carolina to win this thing. And what a game, man.
Oh, yeah. And there was also a few other games. We had Iowa. Well, this one wasn't as exciting, but Iowa, they managed to score more than 10 points as they beat Rutgers 22-0. But this game was rather impressive. Missouri beat Tennessee 36-7, and if I recall, I picked Missouri to beat the Vols.
Yeah, you did actually. You did. Good stuff there, Darren. Well, I'll tell you, man, some good games there. Darren, we are on to our pick'em round. This is it. We are in our last 10 minutes here of our show. Let's get these quick picks and have some fun this week. Rivalry weeks are here. We got one today in a couple of hours that I'm not too excited about. You already brought it up, but we'll talk about it. Anyway, Darren, Let's get to it today. The ranked on ranked games. And of course, we got, like I said, the rivalry games. Today I'm going to not just do top 25. I'm going to run through as many of these quick picks as we possibly can because these are fun. Rivalry games doesn't always mean they're ranked on ranked. So it's a gigantic slate of games for today, starting in just 40 minutes. Let's get to it and see how this thing goes, man. Let's see who we can pick. So, all right. With that said, San Diego State, San Jose State. San Jose State, 5-5. SJSU is 5-5. SDSU is 3-7. Taryn, San Diego State, I've heard you on the SoCal Spring Sports Show week after week after week. Just rip a new one in the Aztecs. Do they beat the Spartans today?
I don't think so. As much as I want to give the Aztecs a chance against the Spartans, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
And it sucks because their last game of the season is against Fresno State. And at the end of the season, Brady Hoke is stepping down, and he's, retiring, actually. So I really want San Diego State to give him one more win, but this is probably the best chance. But I just don't see San Jose State losing this one.
Yeah, they're favored by 15 points here, so we'll see. But that's a rough
San Diego State off to vanilla.
Yeah, this team, they run the PlayStation offense, dude. They seriously have the Madden playbook open or something. I don't know what they're doing. No, but that's no diss to Brady Hoke, though, man. Congratulations on a great year, coach. And, I'm on a great career. And, that's awesome for him. But, okay. Next up here, let's just go down the list. And like I said, feel free to throw any of these in, Taryn, that I may go over or may pass up. But okay, so looking at the next one up here, ranked on ranked here, number 22 Utah at number 17 Arizona. Both are 7-3. Arizona's favored by 1 point. This is a hell of a game in the Pac-12. Taryn, who you got?
I gotta go with Arizona. I think their offense is clicking on all cylinders, and if Cam Rising were playing, I'd give Utah the edge. But Noah Fafita is the man with the plan, and he just is getting all his receivers involved, especially Taylor McMillan.
Totally agree, dude. This is one major game. I am so excited for this, man. Let's get it. I think right now, yeah, we're gonna see a Wildcat victory today, but it's gonna be a slim one. Number 1 Georgia at 10-0, taking on number 18 Tennessee. Georgia's at 10-0. Tennessee's at 7-3. Georgia's favored by 9.5 points. I think they'll probably win by more. Who do you got, Taryn?
Yeah, give me Georgia for this one. I just don't think Tennessee can keep up with that team.
Me either. Taryn, what the crap is this? Number 20, North Carolina, who just came off of an extremely tough game, Battle of the Blues, the Tobacco Road rivalry, whatever you want to call it. It was a great game last week over Duke. Now they're going to Clemson, going to South Carolina to play Clemson. Clemson is 6-4 on the season. They're not even ranked, and they're still favoring Clemson by 7.5 points.
Someone forgot to update the bet line from a while ago, and someone must think that Clemson is still contenders. I gotta go with North Carolina. Yeah. Drake May is the real deal.
He is. He's going to go into the draft next year and do great things on an NFL team. The guy is great. I'm so excited for this team, and I think that, they're going to win this game today. Clemson, they had their time. I think they're just nosediving now. Hey, what do you do? Anyway, next up, Darren, we have here, let's take a look at some more of these games here. If we can see. Okay, so this one is just fun because this year they both suck, but usually it's the studious battle. They call it the game. There was a fun game where, what was it, in the 80s, where the band came on the field. Player still scores the touchdown when they thought the game was over. Cal and Stanford. 4-6 Cal, 3-7 Stanford. Cal favored by 6.5 points. This is a toilet bowl if you've ever seen one. And, who you taking, Terry?
Oh, man. I don't even know. I'll take Cal.
Yeah, I'll take Cal because they're the Bears. That's it. I mean, I don't know the reason.
They put 49 on USC.
There you go. That's it. So, number 21, Kansas State. Number 25, Kansas. It's a Kansas rivalry here. Both are 7-3, and Kansas State's actually favored on the road by 10 points. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Kansas State.
And I'm going rock chalk. Let's see, man. I'm taking Kansas. Let's see how these two teams match up here. All right, Taryn, we have number 5, Washington, taking on number 11, Oregon State. Washington is 10-0. Oregon State is 8-2. They're actually favoring Oregon State by a half a point. Who are you taking?
This is big for Washington because if they lose this matchup and then Oregon State runs the table, Oregon State could be in the Pac-12 championship game, barring any setbacks, and if they get some help along the way. I gotta go with Washington just to be safe, but don't be surprised if Oregon State makes Washington have to sweat this one out.
Oh yeah. I'm going Beavers. Beavers.
So tough. It's so tough to win in Corvallis.
Oh, isn't it? That's a great place to play, though, man. I would love to have played at that stadium. But all right, Darren, and there we have it. We have a couple of those games there. But there's a game that you talked about a lot on Thursday night. I don't want to talk about it, but here it is. Unranked UCLA at 6-4, who isn't that good, is taking on unranked USC, who's at 7-4, who isn't that good. USC is favored by 5 points. These two teams kick off in 4 hours. This game is going to suck because it had so much writing on it like months ago, and now it really is meaningless. Sorry. Of course, fight on. What are we fighting for? Nothing. But, Darren, what do you think, man? UCLA, USC.
Well, you're fighting for something, and it's a bell, but that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Well, here's the thing for UCLA. Well, they better be hoping they're starting Dante Moore or Ethan Garbers. I just don't think Colin Schlee is the answer. Or Chase Griffin. No offense to the guy, of course. But I gotta go with USC. USC has got to win by more than 5 points. They got to win by more than one score. If they make Colin Schlee or whoever starts at quarterback for UCLA look like John Elway or Tom Brady, then something's wrong with this USC team. But I think USC defends its rivalry premises, and they keep the belt for a second straight year.
Let's go, Trojans. And, of course, the game of the week. Who picks these things, man? I'm just kidding, Darren. Game of the week. I mean, it really is, in my opinion, number 5 Washington and number 11 Oregon State. But NBC, here we go. Game of the week. Nebraska at 5-5. Hopefully they wear those cool uniforms, the overall uniforms. Anyway, Wisconsin 5-5. Wisconsin favored by 6.5 points. Who the hell is going to watch this game except for people in Nebraska and Washington? I'm just kidding. But who are you taking, Darren?
I mean, if this were women's volleyball, I think this would be watchable.
Oh, man, this would be great in women's volleyball.
Yeah. Too bad it isn't. God. Both these teams are a little on the vanilla side.
Dude, it's like they both suck. I don't know.
Give me Wisconsin.
I had to hit the music. Oh my gosh. Cue the music, y'all. Cue the music. Oh, that was good. Yeah. That's. Can we get better games next year? Like, can we get this whole stupid TV deal thing out of the way? And, like, can we just get games that deserve to be called the game of the week for the game of the week? Give me the freaking Cornhuskers just because those overall jerseys. I want them to wear those one day. What was that?
And Matt Rule.
Oh, and Matt Rule, yeah. Taryn, that's it, bro. We are out of here, man. We are done for the day. Oh, what a game. I mean, what a show. That was fun. Any last things you want to say for anything? High school, college, anything, man, before we're out of here?
The CIF Southern Section Finals are next week in all divisions. And Division 2 has probably an instant classic. Servite versus Mission Viejo. Just like the olden days. Just like the Bob Johnson days.
Hey.
That's a barn burner right there.
That should be fun, man. So, you can follow me, your boy Larry B, at the THE_LB53. You can follow Mr. Taryn Rodriguez at Taran Rodriguez 1 on X. Follow us both there. Keep calling it Twitter, my bad. Give us a follow at 3and-Out CEIE. I'm horrible at posting stuff this year on there. Sorry, guys. It's been a rough year. It's been really busy. But regardless, we're on it. Check us out here, of course. Saturdays, 7 a.m. for 90 minutes. We try for 60, but it's almost impossible. Anyway, we appreciate you all. Big shout out to our sponsor, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. The jerky that's on a whole other planet. We thank you all so very much for being here. As always, big shout out to the big man above, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, nothing is possible. And of course, big ups to all you out there. Because without you guys, IE Sports Radio is not possible. Oh, man. Let's see what this week brings. So much going on in college and high school football. And with that, that's going to do it, y'all. For me, your boy Larry B. For Taran Rodriguez. We will see y'all next week. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.